Dear students, welcome to this digital lecture series. The topic of today's discussion is nuclear physics, and in that we are going to see nuclear fusion. We have seen that in nuclear fission process, a heavy nuclei of larger mass disintegrates or breaks into two nuclei of smaller mass and a large amount of energy is released. Exactly opposite to the fission process is the nuclear fusion process. So, when two or more light nuclei combine together to form a comparatively larger nuclei and a large amount of energy is released, then such a nuclear reaction is called nuclear fusion process. Now, when two light nuclei combine to form a larger nuclei, then there is always a difference in mass between the sum of masses of the combining nuclei and the mass of the product nuclei. This difference in mass is called mass defect. So, mass defect is given by delta M is equal to sum of masses of combining nuclei minus the mass of product nuclei. We are all familiar with the Einstein's famous mass energy relation E is equal to mc square. So, in the case of fusion, when there is a difference in mass equal to mass defect, then the energy corresponding to mass defect delta M, it will be given by E is equal to delta M into c square, and this much amount of energy is released in the nuclear fusion process in the form of heat. Now, nuclear fusion process takes place when A1 plus A2 is less than 60. Here, A1 and A2 are the mass numbers of the combining nuclei, combining light nuclei, and the amount of energy released in the nuclear fusion process will be very large if both the mass numbers A1 and A2 are less than 12. So, here are some examples of nuclear fusion process. Two deuterium combine to form a helium-3 isotope nuclei along with release of 3.27 million electron volt of energy. In the second example, two deuterium combine to form a tritium and proton with release of 4.03 million electron volt of energy. And see the third example, it is a deuterium combining with tritium to form the helium nuclei, and see the amount of energy released in the form of heat is 17.6 million electron volt. Thus, in nuclear fusion, a large amount of energy is released. This particular slide shows the same example of deuterium combining with tritium to produce a helium-4 nuclei and a neutron, and the energy released in this case is 17.6 million electron volt. This particular example shows a proton combining with boron to produce a carbon-12 nuclei, and amount of energy released is 8.7 million electron volt. Now let's see why nuclear fusion reactions are also called thermonuclear reactions. In the nuclear fusion reaction, two light nuclei come close to each other. There is a collision between them and then they combine to produce a comparatively larger nuclei as a product. We know that the nucleus is a positively charged species or particle. Now, whenever two colliding nucleus approach each other for collision, then according to the laws of electrostatics, since both the nucleus are positively charged, there exists a force of repulsion between them. Now, if there is a force of repulsion, the collision should not take place. The two positively charged nucleus should be repelled. Now, for collision to occur, the force of repulsion between these two nuclei, it should be overcome. Now, how can this be achieved? This is achieved by maintaining the light nuclei at a very, very high energy. And for this, the kinetic energy of the light nuclei should be increased to a very high value. Now, how can we increase the energy of the positively charged nuclei? By maintaining them. It is by maintaining them at a very high temperature of orders of billion degree Kelvin. And remember, 1 billion is 10 raised to the power 9. So, the energy, the kinetic energy of the nuclei is increased by maintaining the condition around them at a very high temperature of 10 raised to the power 9 kelvins. Thus, nuclear fusion reactions are carried out at very, very high temperatures, and that is the reason why the nuclear fusion reactions are also called thermonuclear reactions. Now, once the fusion reaction takes place, we have seen a large amount of energy is released in the form of heat. This heat energy is then sufficient to carry out the further fusion reactions. The example of nuclear fusion reactions are thermonuclear bomb, which is popularly known as hydrogen bomb. Now, why is nuclear fusion reaction so important? Studies have revealed that nuclear fusion is the source of solar energy, that is the energy produced in the sun. We all know that the sun emits a large amount of energy at the rate of 10 raised to the power 26 joules per second, and the age of sun is nearly 5 billion years. So, the rate at which the sun emits the energy is very large, and the age of the sun is also very large. So, by now, all the mass and the energy that is present in the sun should have been used up and sun should have collapsed. But we are continuously seeing the sun and it is continuously emitting the energy. Studies have shown that due to the continuous nuclear fusion reaction that is going on inside the sun is able to produce the energy and emit the solar energy continuously. So nuclear fusion is the source of solar energy. So according to the scientist Bethe, there are two fusion reaction cycles that are responsible for the emission of solar energy. The first is proton-proton cycle and the other is carbon-nitrogen cycle. So this particular slide shows the proton-proton cycle and the process that are going on in this cycle. The same process have been shown in this particular slide and it represents the proton-proton cycle in the solar system, that is sun. Now in this particular proton-proton cycle, the first step is two protons combine to form a deuterium. Then deuterium combines with another proton to form isotope of helium. And then two helium-3 nuclei, they combine with each other finally to produce a helium-4 nuclei and a large amount of energy is released. The process seems to be very simple, but it is not a sudden process. This process is in fact the longest process in the star's life. In the life of star, this process takes the maximum or the longest period for its completion. Now let's see the proton-proton cycle for solar energy stepwise. In the first step, two protons combine with each other to produce a deuterium nucleus. And along with this, a positron is emitted and a neutrino is also emitted. So this particular process is represented here. Two protons combining to give a deuterium and a positron. A deuterium and a positron and neutrino. In the step 2, the deuterium produced, it combines with one more proton to produce a helium-3 isotope nuclei along with emission of the gamma ray. Now this particular step is repeated twice. It occurs twice so that two nuclei of helium-3, two nuclei of the isotope helium-3 are produced. And finally in the step 3, the two nuclei of helium-3, they combine with each other to produce a helium-4 nuclei along with emission of two protons. And once these products are produced, nearly 26.7 million electron volt of energy is released in this particular process of nuclear reaction, nuclear fusion reaction. So the two protons which are produced in the step 3, they further combine to keep the proton-proton cycle going on. Thus, the proton-proton cycle of fusion reaction is a continuous process in the sun. Hence, the energy is continuously produced and emitted from the sun since a long time. Now, the above reaction can be summed up or written that 4 protons combine with each other to produce a helium-4 nuclei, 2 positrons, 2 neutrino, 2 gamma rays, and with release of 26.7 million electron volt of energy. Thus we see that a huge amount of energy is released in the proton-proton cycle which takes place in the sun. The 3 steps have been shown in this particular slide, and the same reaction is also mentioned here. The other cycle which is responsible for production of solar energy is the carbon-nitrogen cycle. Now, in this particular cycle, fusion reaction, overall 4 protons, they combine with each other to form a helium-4 nuclei, and the carbon and the nitrogen nuclei, they act as a catalyst, means they facilitate this particular fusion reaction. The reaction is shown in this particular slide. Let's see it step by step. In the first step, carbon-12 nuclei combines with 1 proton to form a nitrogen-13 nuclei. I have shown this with this star or asterisk here. This particular star indicates that the nitrogen-13 nuclei which is produced is unstable. So, a unstable nitrogen-13 nuclei is produced with emission of gamma ray. The unstable nitrogen-13 nuclei soon tries to gain stability. It is a positron emitter, means it can emit a positron. It can emit a positron and a neutrino. So, a carbon isotope C13 is formed in the next or second step. So, nitrogen 13, it emits a positron and a neutrino, and a isotope of carbon, that is C13, is formed. The carbon 13 nuclei combines with a proton. It combines with a proton to form the nitrogen 14 nuclei along with emission of the gamma ray in the third step. Now, the nitrogen 14 nuclei which was formed, it combines with one more proton to produce an isotope of oxygen. It is denoted by oxygen 15, and the star indicates that oxygen 15 isotope is unstable, and along with the oxygen 15 isotope, a gamma ray is emitted. So in the step 5, the unstable oxygen 15 isotope, it tries to attain stability by emitting a positron and a neutrino. So this particular step, oxygen 15, which is unstable, it emits a positron and a neutrino, and nitrogen 15 nuclei is formed. And in the sixth step, nitrogen 15 nuclei combines with one more proton to form the helium 4 nuclei and carbon 12 nuclei, along with release of energy, that is 26.7 million electron volt of energy. Now, if you sum, this is the particular step. See, the carbon-nitrogen cycle of the solar energy starts from here. It proceeds in this clockwise direction. All the steps proceeds in this clockwise direction. Finally, the end product which were produced was helium-4 nuclei and the carbon-12 nuclei, along with release of 26.7 million electron volt of energy. The carbon-12 nuclei, remember that we have started this equation with C12 nuclei. The carbon-12 nuclei which is produced in the last or the sixth Sixth step, that carbon-12 nuclei, it continues the above cycle of nuclear fusion, and thus the solar energy is continuously produced and emitted from the sun. If you sum up all these steps, if you write all these steps, then the final reaction, nuclear fusion reaction, looks like that four protons combine with each other to produce a helium-4 nuclei, 2 positrons, 2 neutrino, 2 gamma rays, and in the process 26.7 million electron volt of energy is released. Thus, and this energy is released in the form of heat. Thus, the nuclear fusion reaction, it produces tremendous amount of energy. So that's all about nuclear fusion. Have a nice day.